Good afternoon, students. So today I will be telling you the catabolism of purine nucleotides. Okay, so I have taught you the anabolism of purine nucleotide. Now I am coming to the catabolism of purine nucleotides. Okay, they are adenine and guanine. Okay, and the end product of this purines, adenine and guanine, is uric acid. So since the uric acid is there, you are very well understanding the clinical significance of this catabolism, right? You see here, it is adenine monophosphate, adenosine monophosphate, and it is guanosine monophosphate. They both are acted by nucleotidases. Okay, and we are getting here adenosine deoxyadenosine and guanosine deoxyguanosine here. Right, then by the action of the deaminase, we are getting this inosine. Okay, and by the action of purine nucleotide phosphorylase, we are getting here guanine. Okay, so you can say that these nucleotides have removed their phosphates groups and now they are coming into actual form, that guanosine monophosphate is changing into guanine. Means this guanine is not having any sugar, any phosphate, and this hypoxanthine and inosine are also not having any phosphate and any sugar. 1 minute. Actually, it was difficult to run the mouse on the laptop, and that's why I used a paper here. So it is guanine. So what happened? That adenosine monophosphate is giving us base hypoxanthine, inosine, and guanosine monophosphate is giving us guanine, right? So we got the basis. Okay, then you see the both hypoxanthine and guanine are changing to xanthine by xanthine oxidase and by guanines. Guanine is changing to xanthine and hypoxanthine is also changing to xanthine, and it is the formation of hydrogen peroxide in this reaction. By the addition of water to oxygen, hydrogen peroxide is formed. So we got the xanthine. Okay, so guanine is also giving us xanthine, hypoxanthine is also giving us xanthine, and xanthine is changing to uric acid, liberating another molecule of hydrogen peroxide by water and oxygen, and we are getting uric acid. Okay, so this is uric acid which is excreted in our human urine. The end product of purines is uric acid. Uric acid. The pathway for the degradation of AMP includes an extra step because adenosine is not a substrate for nucleoside phosphorylase. Okay, I showed you that how. I will show you again what is happening here. You see, AMP is changing to adenosine. Here we got the adenosine, but adenosine is changing to inosine, and then inosine is changing to hypoxanthine. Okay, so it is the another step here. The pathway for the degradation of AMP includes an extra step because adenosine is not a substrate for nucleoside phosphorylase. In the extra step, adenosine is deaminated to inosine, which is substrate for the nucleoside phosphorylase. Got it? A healthy human adult excrete uric acid at a rate of about 0.6 grams per 24 hours. Okay, in healthy adult human urine, you will found the uric acid about 6 grams per 24 hours. The catabolism of purines means adenine and guanine produce uric acid. At physiological pH, your body pH, uric acid is mostly ionized and present in plasma as sodium urate. Okay? I told you that purines are giving us, adenine and guanine both are giving us uric acid via the xanthine. And at physiological pH, uric acid is mostly ionized and present in plasma as sodium urate. Uric acid and urate are relatively insoluble molecules and readily precipitate out of aqueous solutions such as urine or synovial fluid. Uric acid and urate are relatively insoluble molecules and readily precipitate out of aqueous solutions such as urine or synovial fluid. The majority of uric acid is excreted via the kidney. I told you that 0.6 gram in 24 hours, the excretion of uric acid. The majority of uric acid is excreted via kidney. The normal blood serum level of uric acid is 4 to 7 milligram per 100 ml of blood. The upper normal range is 7 milligram per 100 ml, which is above the solubility of sodium urate in water, which is 6.4 milligram per 100 ml. Okay? And an elevated sodium urate concentration is known as hyperuricemia. So upper normal range is 7 milligram per 100 ml. And if it is more than that, it is hyperuricemia. In blood, I told you that concentration is 4 to 7 milligram per 100 ml of blood. And if it is more than 7 milligram per 100 ml, then it is known as hyperuricemia. Formation of uric acid depends on the ratio of de novo synthesis of purines, how much purines have been formed, the metabolism of endogenous DNA and RNA and other purine containing molecules such as ATP. Okay, because purines are utilized in the formation of DNA and RNA. Okay, and then breakdown of dietary nucleic acid. So first, their object of these purines is to get incorporated in the DNA and RNA. And if something is remaining, then it is the breakdown of dietary nucleic acid. And hyperuricemia may arise from increased uric acid formation, which may be due to primary or secondary causes from decreased uric acid excretion by kidney. Okay, if kidney is not excreting the uric acid, it will be increased in the blood. So hyperuricemia may arise from increased uric acid formation, which may be due to primary or secondary causes or from decreased uric acid excretion by the kidney. Later on, I will be telling you. These are the causes of hyperuricemia. Right? It is clear it is because of the increased uric acid formation, the hyperuricemia is there. Then this increases by two means, primary means and the secondary means. Means primary means the PRPP synthase enzyme is defective, PRPP aminotransferase enzyme is defective, HGPRTase enzyme is defective, then you will be finding the increased uric acid. Okay, and secondary causes, dietary intake. You are taking more and more nucleic acid in your diet, nucleic acid turnover. Okay, if less are utilized in the DNA formation, more are available for the uric acid formation, ATP breakdown, and deficiency of glucose 6-phosphatase. It is Bonn-James disease. I will be telling you in next few slides. Deficiency of glucose 6-phosphatase. Okay, so these are the causes of increased uric acid condition or hyperuricemia. These are primary causes because of the enzyme defect, PRPP synthase, PRPP aminotransferase, HGPRTase, and these are the secondary causes because of the uric acid is increased. They are dietary intake, nucleic acid turnover, ATP breakdown, and deficiency of glucose 6-phosphatase. Due to the decreased uric acid accretion. If you are getting a decreased uric acid, then causes are primary idiopathic, unknown reason. And secondary, renal insufficiency, okay, metabolic acidosis, lactic acidosis, ketoacidosis, starvation, diabetes mellitus, increased tubular reabsorption. Okay, they all are causing the decreased uric acid excretion. Got it? One more thing, very important. Hyperuricemia means increased uric acid is aggravated by alcohol such as ethanol. Why? Because increase of the turnover of ATP and uric acid production. Okay? Turnover of ATP, increased turnover of ATP. What does it mean? That more and more ATP is used. So you will be getting additional adenine, and which is a purine metabolism. And it will be then it will be following a pathway for the uric acid via the hypoxanthine and xanthine. Ethanol in excess may cause the accumulation of organic acids which compete with the tubular secretion of uric acid. Okay, ethanol in excess may cause the accumulation of organic acids which compete with the tubular secretion of uric acid. Okay, more and more organic acids will come and they will make a competition with the uric acid, that I will excrete first and uric acid will tell that I will excrete first. So what will happen? That the renal flow of the uric acid is decreased, and if renal outflow is decreased, then it is increased in the blood and hyperuricemia is caused. Disorders such as ethanol intoxication, diabetic ketoacidosis and starvation lead to elevation of lactic acid, beta hydroxybutyric acid, and acetoacid, and will compete with the tubular secretion of uric acid and cause hyperuricemia. Okay, beta hydroxybutyric acid and acetoacetic acid, you all know they are the ketone bodies. So they will compete with the tubular secretion of uric acid and will call hyperuricemia. Reason is same, which I told you, that they will make a competition of the uric acid. Okay, so if uric acid is winning the competition, it will excrete. If these ketone bodies and organic acids are winning the competition, then they will increase. They will excrete in the urine. So if the uric acid is excreted, it is okay. But if the organic acids are excreted, then uric acid is elevated in the plasma and the condition is hyperuricemia is precipitated. Now come to gout. Very important. Usually in the examination, you will find a question on the gout. Gout is a metabolic disorder associated with an elevated level of uric acid in the serum. Okay, hyperuricemia is gout. The increased serum uric acid is due to either increased formation of uric acid or decreased renal excretion. Okay, got it? Increased formation of uric acid, more and more adenine is coming, more and more guanine is coming. Okay, and decreased renal excretion, competition is there. Okay, and if renal excretion is lowered or hampered, then it is elevated in the blood. Whatever be the cause, gout is associated with the hyperuricemia, but hyperuricemia is not always associated with the gout. Got it? Whatever be the cause of gout is associated with the hyperuricemia. If more and more uric acid is available, the gout is precipitated. But hyperuricemia is not always associated with the gout. Okay? If they are not deposited in the joints, then it is not associated with the gout. Gout is classified into two broad types, primary gout and secondary gout. They are the classified primary gout and secondary gout. What is primary gout? Primary gout is an inborn errors of metabolism due to overproduction of uric acid. Okay, more or more breakdown of AMP, ATP, ADP, GTP, GMP, GDP, if they are more and more are associated. Okay, so in primary gout, increased level of uric acid is associated with the increased synthesis of purine nucleotides. In primary gout, increased level of uric acid is associated with increased synthesis of purine nucleotide. Okay, so what I told you that primary gout it is the inborn errors of metabolism due to overproduction of uric acid. And in primary gout, increased level of uric acid is associated with increased synthesis of purine nucleotides. Increased synthesis of purine nucleotides is caused by defective enzyme of purine nucleotide biosynthesis, such as PRPP synthase, PRPP glutamyl aminotransferase, and HGPRTase. They are the defective enzyme. So, increased synthesis of purine nucleotide. Okay, so purine nucleotides are increased with the concentration, and that's why more and more uric acid is produced. These are the symptoms of the primary gout. You will find the elevated concentration of uric acid in the blood and tissues. Elevated concentration of uric acid in the blood and tissues. And what is the normal range of uric acid? 4 to 7 milligram per 100 ml of the blood. So you will get more and more uric acid in the blood. The joints become inflamed, painful, and arthritic due to abnormal deposition of sodium urate crystals. Okay, so I told you that uric acid remains bonded with the sodium as the sodium urate. These crystals are deposited in the joints, so causing inflamed, painful, and arthritic due to abnormal deposition of sodium urate crystals. Deposition of urate as trophic clusters of urate crystals. Okay. So deposition of urate as trophic clusters of urate crystals in soft tissue that affects the joints and leads to painful arthritis. Okay. The kidneys are also affected since excess urate is also deposited in the kidney tubules and leads to renal failure. Okay. elevated concentration of uric acid in blood and tissues. Joints are inflamed, painful, and arthritic due to the deposition of sodium urate crystals and deposition of urate as toffee. So you are getting a clusters of urate crystals like a toffee in soft tissues, and that affects the joints and leads to painful arthritis. And the kidneys are also affected since excess urate is also deposited in the kidney tubules and leads to renal failure. You see, deposition of urate as toffee in the soft tissues. You see the fingers. Very painful condition it is. These are the urate crystals deposited in the kidney tubules. See this photograph. They are the crystals of urate, sodium urate, and they are deposited in the kidney, in the primary ground, so kidney is failed. What is secondary gout? Secondary gout results from a variety of disease that cause an secondary gout results from a variety of diseases, elevated destruction of cells which occurs in cancers. Okay, got it? Leukemia, polycythemia, psoriasis, and hypercatabolic states like starvation and trauma. And decreased elimination of uric acid which occur in chronic renal disease due to reduced glomerular filtrate rate and glucose 6-phosphate deficiency. Okay, so these are the causes of secondary gout. Secondary gout results from a variety of diseases that cause elevated destruction of cells which occurs in cancers. In cancers, you know, there is uncontrolled production of the cells. So in leukemia, polycythemia, psoriasis, in hypercatabolic states, starvation, trauma, in all the destruction of cells is becoming more. Okay, so decreased elimination of uric acid which occurs in chronic renal disease due to reduced glomerular filtrate rate. And then because of these, all these, the uric acid is more and more. So it is known as the secondary gout, right? Apparently, primary gout is more apparent, but secondary gout is also there. And secondary gout is because of the elevated destruction of the cells. If cells are destructed, okay, so elimination of uric acid which occurs in chronic renal disease due to the reduced glomerular filtrate rate, GFR rate is decreased, and glucose 6-phosphate deficiency. They all are included in secondary gout. Glucose 6-phosphate, then through the pentose phosphate pathway, we are getting alpha D ribose 5-phosphate, and then through the enzyme, this PRPP enzyme, purine nucleotides are formed, pyrimidine nucleotides are formed, right? And if I told you purine nucleotides are giving us uric acid, okay, so if this enzyme is defective, then less purine nucleotides are produced. It is the treatment of gout. The gout can be treated by a combination of nutritional therapy and drug therapy. Okay. Foods especially rich in nucleotides and nucleic acids such as liver or coffee and tea, which contains the purine, caffeine, and theobaromine are withheld from the diet. Okay, we are not giving any nucleotide, nucleic acid such as liver or coffee and tea. It is all stopped, which is contains the purines, right? So if purines are controlled and we are not giving the purines, then automatically the biosynthesis of the uric acid will stop. So it is the treatment of gout. Restriction of intake of alcohol is also advised. Okay, alcohol should not be taken anyway. This alcohol is not good and we should not take, though it is becoming very popular in the society nowadays. Restriction in intake of alcohol is also advised. And then drug treatment is the drug allopurinol, which inhibits xanthine oxidase competitively. Okay, so this drug is the competitor of xanthine oxidase. And xanthine oxidase, you know that it is used in the biosynthesis of uric acid. Okay, so it is all the treatment of the gout. So by the drugs and by the food and coffee, tea, caffeine, they all are stopped. And alcohol is also not advised to take. And then use the drug allopurinol, which is inhibits xanthine oxidase competitively. So this drug is used in the control of gout. Hyperuricemia is aggravated by the alcohol, and as ethanol increase the turnover, so it is the earlier slide. Now come to another disease. It is Leishman syndrome, which is also very important, and you will find the question in the examination. Leishman syndrome. What is this? It is the inherited X-linked recessive disorder that affects only males. Inherited X-linked recessive disorder that affects only males. And it is caused by a complete lack of HGPRTase, an enzyme which is involved in purine salvage pathway. Okay, I taught you that HGPRTase enzyme is not there. So it is the caused by a complete lack of HGPRTase, which is an enzyme which is involved in purine salvage pathway. In the absence of HGPRTase, the salvage pathway is inoperative and purines cannot be reconverted to nucleotides. Okay? Instead, they are degraded into uric acid. Got it? Leishman syndrome, first thing I told you that it is a genetic disease linked with the X-linked recessive disorder. It is only operable in males. Only Leishman syndrome you will find in the males. Second, it is the deficiency of HGPRTase enzyme. And third, when this enzyme is not there, the salvage pathway is inoperative, and purines cannot be reconverted to nucleotides. They are not converted to nucleotide. Instead, they are catabolized to uric acid. So that's why I used this solve Leishman syndrome along with the gout, because this enzyme is defective, the nucleotides are not formed, and then purines will be changed to picric acid. The genetic lack of HGPRTase causes an overproduction of PRPP, which stimulates purine biosynthesis. Okay, this enzyme will help the formation of purines. Okay, if it is here, then it will form the nucleotides. If it is not there, then this will form the adenine and then xanthine and hypoxanthine and guanine. Because of increased purine synthesis, the gradation product uric acid also increases. Because of the increased purine synthesis, the degradation produce uric acid, which is also increased, and the result is increased concentration of uric acid in the plasma and urine and gout-like damage to tissue. Okay, so it is the Leishman syndrome. The symptoms of Leishman syndrome are hyperuricemia, elevated uric acid in the blood, gout, deposition of sodium urate crystals in the joints, urinary tract stones, neurological symptoms or mental retardation. Spasticity means resistance to the passive movement of a limb, self-mutilation, self-painful, destructive behavior of biting of fingers and lips. Okay, destructive behavior of biting of fingers and lips. It is self-mutilation. Okay, so these are all the symptoms of the Leishman syndrome. Allopurinol drug, I told you that it is the competitor of the enzyme. Allopurinol reduces the uric acid formation, but does not alleviate the neurological symptoms. Okay. So now I think I will stop here. I will be dealing with another lecture for you, that is severe combined immunodeficiency, that I will be taking in the next lecture. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.